What's up, James?
How we doing?
Amazing.
We're back at it, everyone.
Excited to be here. Excited to talk about certified AI partners.
Yeah, we had a big week last week. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, we got some good things in motion, so we're excited for this upcoming week.
Yeah. So I think today we want to go over. We just want to let everyone know our business model and then things we have in the works right now. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So James, tell me about the business model. What are we doing here at Certified AI Partners?
So obviously I'm biased, but I think we have kind of a genius business model here at Certified AI Partners. So I think of it in 3 steps, right? So first we have our assessment that we do with companies. Companies hit us up and they ask us to just assess their workflows, and we identify the top 3 opportunities of where they should be using AI. And so what that looks like is we'll hop on calls with them, right? And then we'll also send out a survey to their whole company, and it takes like 5 minutes for each customer to fill out. Not customer, employee. But they fill it out. They just tell us what workflows they're doing, what softwares they're touching, how much time it takes them. And then based off that, we hop on calls with them and we kind of map out, like, look, you're doing A, B, and C that could be automated, and it would save you X amount of hours and Y amount of dollars. And so we just kind of map out the ROI for them.
Wow. That's awesome. And James, why do you think that it's so important to start with the assessment instead of just trying to sell them like some pre-built automation or some pre-built software?
Exactly. I think every company, A, works differently, and B, you find inefficiencies in their workflows. And so it's like you don't want to automate a workflow that's already inefficient. If they're doing something that takes them 12 steps that they could be doing in 8 steps, then you want to fix the workflow first. So that's why we do the assessment. And then you want to automate it. Because that way you're saving your costs and you're just more efficient with your time and your money. So that's why we do the assessment. And oftentimes they have the idea that, they want to automate XYZ thing, but in reality they have all these other processes that they should automate first. And the ROI would be way bigger, and it'd get that outcome that they're already trying to achieve.
So basically you identify the constraints and you focus on those first so you can get a clear ROI instead of just building something they don't need, right?
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it, like finding the biggest bottlenecks. So yeah, that's what I would say for that.
No, that's awesome. And where would we go from there? So we have the assessment, we find the constraints. What's like the next step in the business model?
Yeah, so first we assess, and then second we present the assessment, and we say, look, like if I was presenting to you, we'd be like, look, Carter, here's your biggest opportunity for AI to be implemented in your company, and here's how much time it would save you. And from there, step 2 is either like a small form of implementation, like we'll implement the top 3 workflows that we found, and we'll build it out for them, and we just charge them based off the price of each one.
Okay.
Or we skip to step 3, which is the retainer, which is like basically our end goal is to become an AI department within their company, right? Like companies that have IT departments or fractional CFOs. We're their fractional AI department. So we come in and we do everything AI. So that's the end goal. So either step 2 is like we just do like small implementation for them and work them up for the retainer, or we go straight to step 3, which is go straight onto retainer, and we give trainings, we build out all the workflows, and we're just like their outsourced AI department.
Yeah, so if I understand correctly, we're trying to become basically the leaders of AI in their company.
Yeah.
Help them implement AI in everywhere that can actually provide an ROI, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly, well said. And then anything I missed, anything that you would summarize or say in your own words?
I think that's a great explanation. I think where this business model really thrives is we focus on providing value first before ever selling, right?
Yeah.
With the assessment, it's a low ticket offer. We're not charging a huge upfront fee. And, we leave them with a 90-day roadmap, whether or not they hire us, right? Whether or not they even want automation built out or they want to hire us as a fractional AI team. We leave them with that assessment, with that roadmap, so they can know, like, okay, what are the next best steps moving forward to implement AI in their company.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, I'd say we're pretty objective in our assessments. Like we did an assessment for Hammond Foot and Ankle here in Provo.
Yeah.
And it's like, Dr. Hammond is a genius guy, and he's running a great practice. And it's like, we went in and we sat down with him for an hour, and we just like recorded everything. We just talked about all his processes, his workflows, and we were like, look, here are tools that you can be using already right now off the shelf that it wasn't even with us. It was like, we would just recommend you use these tools. It cost him like in total for the tools, like $200 a month, which as running a startup for him, he hasn't paid himself yet. He's lifting this thing up off the ground. Like that was huge for him. We're like, honestly, we're not the best fit for you right now. But when you're ready, like we're here.
Yeah.
and we can do these other things for you. But right now, do these things, use these tools. And so we're like, and we gave him his roadmap, and he's following along, getting good results. And so it's like, if we're not the best fit, like, we'll tell you, but it's like usually, we can find things that provide that ROI.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And I think that's something we should talk about is the ROI, like how ROI driven we are.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I love that. Yeah, I think one thing we're really trying to focus on is being completely upfront and honest with our clients on what the ROI is, right? Because there's a lot of people in the AI space and just in the agency world in general, they kind of just talk in like hypotheticals, right? Like, oh, this hypothetically could save you this much. Hypothetically, you could save this much time, right?
Right.
But really here at Certified AI Partners, I think one of our biggest goals and our mission is to, be upfront about, okay, this is what you're actually getting out of this, right? This is the actual number of dollars saved on your P&L, of hours saved, from your overhead of labor costs. And so I think we just really want to focus on that because it's something we've both seen in the industry. We've both been working in AI for a while, and we've just seen a lot of people that, they just talk in hypotheticals,
Yeah. It's like, oh, this magic AI will do everything for you. And it's like, and this was kind of, Brendan is really the spearhead of this, our other co-founder, who's not here with us right now, but what he does is he builds a dashboard that shows like, look, here's how AI is operating in your company. Here's the time it's saving, and here's the return that it's actually getting, whether that's bringing revenue in or cutting expenses for them.
Yeah.
A prime example being the captive insurance platform, paying a team to do 100,000 bank statements a year.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the AI was able to save them a lot of time, but also a lot of overhead that they didn't have to pay. And that team could just focus on higher level things rather than processing bank statements into QuickBooks.
Yeah, and it literally saved them $100,000, right?
Yeah.
Which is huge off of just one single automation. And so you can kind of see like with every business, like there's these constraints that they wouldn't traditionally know about. And that's why we come in, we identify those constraints and we say, hey, even with just one automation, you could be saving X amount.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so now I guess I'll kind of ask you about what we've got going on right now. We've got a very awesome client that we're working with, started this last week, and we're doing a lot of work with them this week. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we're working with a big stormwater company, and they're a huge team. They have over 120 employees. They serve 3 different states. And
Utah, Arizona, and California, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And one really cool thing about them is that they're very operational heavy, right?
Yeah.
As you would expect from a stormwater company, right? They're always doing bids. They're always out on job sites, right? And so obviously they're doing a lot of revenue. They have a big team. They have a lot of jobs, but they're not AI forward, right? Because they're a blue collar company. And so one thing we're doing for them right now is we're doing an assessment. And so we're going through and we're meeting with different departments and we're meeting with their leaders specifically and asking them like, okay, what are the tasks you're doing every single day?
Yeah.
What are the specific things you're doing? What is taking up your time? And that way we can identify, like we said, the constraints or the biggest opportunities for them so that they can implement AI and also scale faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we kind of talked with the CEO about that, right?
No, we did. Yeah. And I think a little more background on them is they went through a period of hyper growth, right? Like they were growing like crazy, starting during COVID, then like up to 2025, they were growing like crazy. And then they kind of hit this plateau, right?
Yeah.
And during this period, they gained a bunch of overhead, right? They had to hire a lot more headcount, just employees, so that they could keep up with this growth.
Right.
But now they've kind of plateaued. They have a second to breathe, and they realize they have all this overhead. They don't have SOPs, KPIs. They don't have their workflows mapped out. So everything from their finance team to their sales team to their HR team, like they all have things that need to be automated, which is we're meeting with each of those departments this week. We've got like 13 calls scheduled this week.
Just this week, right?
Yeah. So we're pretty busy, but we're finding those things that it can automate because they're going to experience another hypergrowth phase soon, and they want to have that foundation set, right? So that they have AI that can scale with them without increasing their overhead, and they can handle the growth as well.
No, exactly. And I think one really cool thing that we were talking to the CEO about is he was saying that at different levels of business, there's different constraints, right?
Yeah.
He was saying growing a small business into a mid-market business is completely different than growing a mid-market business into an enterprise business, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really cool what we're doing here at Certified AI Partners is because we're able to go in and help them identify those constraints from a third-party perspective. We say, hey, we know you don't have time to meet with all your different teams and ask them about AI, what
Yeah.
we do, right?
Exactly.
And we're going to sit down with each of them, go through each of their processes, and that way we can come to them later with the assessment and be like, hey, if you guys do this and this and this, you guys are going to be able to scale in the future.
Yeah.
And also, as AI progresses too, you guys are going to be on the bleeding edge.
Exactly. Yeah. And let's give the viewers a couple examples of like the CEO, Brig, amazing guy. Like he's awesome. We've met with him twice now, and maybe 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
Yeah. And he's given us some. He as a CEO has like 2 major areas where he wants to be using AI. Then he also just wants all the employees to be AI forward as well, right?
Yeah.
And so I can kind of talk
Yeah.
about the first example. You can talk about the second.
Yeah.
The first is their bid proposals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right now they receive all these blueprints, and they have someone that has to manually go through and just count each installation well.
Yeah.
So they do stormwater drains, which puts water back into the waterbed under. And so we're not experts in that. But
Yeah,
we're experts
right.
in that. But right now someone has to go through and count how many installation wells are in each of these projects that they're doing, and based off that, that's how they price their bids. And it takes them a long time to do that manually right now. And so it's just kind of a unique case for AI. It's like, well, we don't understand it, like installation wells, but we understand how to make AI understand installation wells and do this bid for them. So the first process we're working on is automating that. So it'll count how many wells are in each plan and then output a bid that someone can just verify and send off, saving them a ton of hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And James, what would be like an example of like, in your mind, what would be the process of like automating that? Like, where would we go to, or like what tools would we implement to kind of make that that easier for them?
Yeah, I can tell you what we're going to do this week is we're going to meet with their project manager that's in charge of these bids, and then we're going to ask for past examples of literally like, if you were doing it, I'd be like, Carter, like literally walk me through how do you do this?
Right.
They share their screen, they show the blueprints. It's like, okay, this is what an installation well looks like. It's like I go through and I count these, and then after that, here's how I price it. And so it's like once we understand literally how you do it, A to Z, it's like that gives us a good picture of how to automate it. And so just from what we understand right now, is they get the blueprints digitally.
Yeah.
And so we can easily just have an AI ingest those blueprints. Then it's going to go through, count how many installation wells. In my mind, it's like even to just double check, we'll have a second AI with a different model go through and do the same thing just to make sure they get that same number. And then from there, just run their math on how they price it.
Yeah.
And it's going to generate the bid for them in like a template that we've already designed.
Right.
And so that's how, in my understanding, how we're going to automate it. And we'll use that, like that'll be a combination of like NAN and then AI agents within NAN, probably. So.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I think once we get that built out for them, that's going to save them a lot of time.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, they have people that literally their entire job is to go through that process and complete that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And James, remind me what the second example was. I'm blanking.
No, it's the maintenance request.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
That's
they have
right.
someone who like goes through, takes pictures of things that need maintenance on past projects that they've done.
Yeah.
And they have a map of the whole like area, and they kind of color code on like what needs, and then they send that off. And based off of that colored map, for maintenance requests, they'll hire subcontractors to go and fix something, whether it's like an HVAC specialist, a plumber, or something like within that property.
So it'd kind of be like automating that process of like, okay, a maintenance request comes in, it automatically sends out like a request for them to come and fix it, right?
Yeah,
That way they don't have to manually look and call up or text that person.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We've got a meeting right after this with the lady who's in charge of this. So yeah, we'll get a lot more
awesome
info right after this. But yeah, and then third, I'd just say is they kind of we're entering this age where all these like big software companies are creating their own AIs and trying to upsell their customers on that. Whereas like you can have Claude or like ChatGPT, OpenAI, just connect directly already into your existing tools, and it becomes kind of like the central AI, and you can kind of talk to your business.
Right.
So we're kind of seeing that shift in the market right now, and so that's something we're going to do for Stormwater Pros as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a different outlook on AI because there's a lot of companies, like you said, that are just trying to build like their own wrappers, right? And then they try to sell that wrapper like, okay, here's an AI wrapped for construction, or an AI wrapped for HVAC, or AI wrapped for dentistry. And the hard thing about that is like the speed at which AI is unprecedented, right?
Yeah.
Every day, every week, there's new models dropping. And so it's really beneficial, like you said, to use like Claude or OpenAI, one of these frontier models as your central AI, because they're always releasing the newest models.
Yeah.
And so as the models get better, also the information that they're going to be able to go off of gets better. And so like we talked about, building a centralized database that houses all of their company information, that connects to all of their different tools, is something that's going to be huge for these companies, because they'll have access to literally everything their company does on the highest model. Not using some proprietary software. They're going to have literally the best information with the best AI model.
Yeah. So like I think for this company, Stormwater Pros LLC, a big thing for them that we've talked to Brig about is like training their employees how to use, like, for example, if we choose Claude. Right. Brig really likes Claude Code. And the coworker is awesome, but that's what we're in Claude Code all the time. So training the employees how to use Claude. Yeah. And then also helping them connect it to the softwares that they're using, like Pipedrive right now, and then the other ones are leaving my mind, but
they're HRIS,
they're HRIS, and so it's like Claude can connect to every single one of them at once. So it's like their context layer is already there. Yeah, it's like we kind of literally just gave you this super smart employee that's able to access all your tools for you. Yeah, it can go read, it can write, it has access to what you need, and it's going to be super awesome for them because it's going to save them a ton of time. So
yeah, and on top of that too, we're going to be able to build out dashboards that provide them with the KPIs that they didn't have originally, right? Yeah. That was something that Brig, the CEO, expressed to us, is that he felt like he wasn't able to see clearly some of the KPIs that he feels like are important. And so by connecting Claude to all these tools, it can find the information, and you don't have to manually go through and analyze bank statements or analyze the CRM. Yeah. You can just have it automatically updated dashboard that you create, and that way Brig can just log on every morning to the dashboard and see how the company's doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can literally talk to your company. Yeah. And he showed us their current dashboards, how they build dashboards, and it was awesome. It was in depth, but it was also like really complex. Yeah. And it's like thousands of filters, like thousands of things you could analyze, whereas you could just be like, Claude, I want to analyze our P&L for April. Like, how are we doing? And then it'll go like pull just that information that you need. Simplicity is almost better, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, 100%. And why do you think specifically for companies like Briggs, why do you think AI is going to be such a game changer for these like operational blue collar companies?
Mm-hmm. I think Brig honestly nailed it on the head for us. So I'll just repeat his words. Like, when you're scaling from like this kind of mid-market company to a large enterprise company, it's like you can't just grid it out. Yeah. Like, you need a good foundation, you need workflows, and like you need standard processes so that they don't break while you're growing. So it's like you're gonna have 10x the amount of volume that you do right now. It's like, can your processes, can your people right now keep up with that? It's like probably not, but AI can take a lot of the time consuming, just like mentally draining, like monotonous tasks. Like, I don't want to sit there and count installation wells. Like I want to be working with the clients, right? And so it allows the people who are already excellent at their jobs to focus on what they're actually really good at, right? It's like we should be taking data entry and these low-level tasks off their plate, because it's like we're capable of so much more. It's like at least like most people, like they like to work with other people, they like to build a relationship. They like to actually be on the job site, not doing manual data entry. So long-winded answer, but basically, to put it simply, AI taking over the boring workflows and allowing it to scale with you when you reach that point of hypergrowth that Brig was kind of talking about.
No, I love that. I love the idea of AI taking us away from the computer and more into real relationships, right? Yeah. Like, AI should be a tool that automates all of the computer work. That way we can actually focus on networking and actually like serving the client in the best way possible. Yeah. For someone like Brig, for their company, like, maybe they can spend more time reaching out to different government agencies, different cities, different, whatever companies that they work with. That way that they can get more business. Yeah. He can spend more time working with them instead of him just on his computer all day going through numbers, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, by all means, if you like to put stuff into QuickBooks just manually one by one, copy and paste, like, power to you, right? I feel like most people we talk to usually enjoy having these monotonous tasks taken off their plate. And there's levels to it, right? Like, there's like basic data entry, like low-level tasks that are easy for AI to do. It's like you should be automating that stuff first. Yeah. Where it comes to like higher level stuff, like important client relationships, documents you'll be sending to them. It's like AI can help you, but you should be like verifying it. And so it like kind of becomes this partner. And so we try and separate that and help them implement at both levels for that as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And James, for any other companies that are watching or anyone else that's running a company right now, what is the process for them to, kind of start working with us, kind of go through the same process that Stormwater Pros is going through?
Exactly, yeah. You can find us at certifiedaipartners.com. Obviously, we're on social media as well. Just shoot us a DM or even go and onto our website and book a call with us. It's free, no pressure. Like you can leave your credit card at home. We just want to talk to you, get to know you, see what you're doing, see what you think about AI, and see if honestly if we'd even be a good fit for you, right? Because we kind of have a very high criteria of companies we're looking to work with as well.
Yeah, we're not just looking to take on, every little AI job.
Yeah.
We're really trying to embed ourselves within these companies and help them scale.
Yeah, where we can prove the most ROI.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time, James.
Yeah, appreciate it, Carter.